Okay, so our running warm-up, this is a general running warm-up. You can do this for any sprint exercises, agility exercises, any hard interval workout. It's always good to fully warm up the body and get the body used to going through the full range of motion that you're about to that day, as well as the speed of motion that you're about to. It's best to start with some sort of progressive general warm-up. You can do laps of the field, you can do progressive build-ups where you go down about 50% speed, come back a little faster, do 3 to 4 sprints, lengths of that. You can also do general skips. We've done that before. After this general warm-up, which should take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, then you're going to go into leg swings. I'm going to demonstrate that against the fence here. We'll start with front leg swings, meaning the legs going front to back. So you're going to have one arm against the fence. The inside leg will be swinging. It's important to brace your abs and stand tall throughout, because if you don't, your foot will hit the ground. Okay, so staying tall, bracing your abs. You want to pick up the speed as you go. You're going to do 10 total reps. Think about holding a stack of books straight up on your head, eyes are forward. What you do not want to do is come down at your torso to meet your legs. So stay tall throughout. Let your leg move while your torso stays still. Do both legs, and then you go into side leg swings. Both arms along the fence, shoulders square. Try to point your swing leg, the toe towards the sky. And notice that this grounded foot is straight ahead. Again, progressively building up the speed, 10 total front and back. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, when you start with this warm-up, we suggest doing this barefoot if you can, if you have the right surface. Okay, so for instance, we're on this turf field. If you have AstroTurf or a smooth grass field, we suggest doing at least the first half of the warm-up barefoot to increase the strength in your foot muscles. Okay, once we go into A-skips, and I'll mention when we do that, that's when you can put your sneakers on. Now, if you don't have a nice smooth surface and if there may be sticks lying around or rocks, you definitely don't want to go barefoot. And going barefoot is something you want to progress into before you fully do the whole warm-up, or at least half the warm-up barefoot. Okay, so after the leg swings, then we're going to go into our lunge series. We're going to start at an end line. You just pick a line. I put out cones here. We're going to do this for 10 yards. Switch the drill, go in another 10 yards, and then another drill for 10 yards. I'm not going to do the full thing here. I'm just going to demonstrate each. First exercise is a high knee hug to instep lunge. You're going to hug your knee, get up tall on your toes, step out as far as you can. You're going to put the opposite hand down on the ground, elbow in. You're going to rotate towards the same side leg, come back down, stretch your hamstring by straightening the leg and pulling the toe up. Next rep. Pull the knee up tight, go up toe on your toe, step out far. Notice this back leg is straight, so push the heel back, hand down, knee stacked right over the ankle, elbow in, rotate. Now when you rotate, you want to keep this knee right over the ankle. You don't want to have it come out wide. Okay, so as you rotate, keep it there, come back down, stretch your hamstring. You're going to do this for 10 yards. Then you go into a backwards lunge with a twist. So arms are going to go straight up, palms rotated in. I'm going to face the camera so you can see this. Arms straight up, palms here. Drive one knee up high. Reach back far. Knee stacked right over the ankle. Twist under control. Twisting towards that forward leg. And then step back. The other side, here, back, twist under control. You do that for 10 yards, going the same direction. Then we're going to stretch our hamstrings doing a Frankenstein to a Superman, or a Frankenstein to a one-leg RDL. So staying up tall, working on your posture. You're going to kick your leg up high, come down under control, extend the arms as you go into the Superman position. So doing this straight away so you can see the body angles. Up high, down with control, pushing this heel straight back. You're going to get the hamstring if you kick up fast and come down under control. Right, so then you do that for 10 yards. So by doing those 3 exercises, you'll have 30 yards. When you come back, we're going to do some exercises to stretch the hip. First one is a 2-way crossover lunge. So we're going to get into an athletic position, step across the body as far as you can. Once you're here, the knee should be right over your ankle. You drop down, knee stays over your ankle, you're going to feel a stretch in your hip. Take a very small step and step behind. Notice that the chest is up, torso's upright, eyes are forward, shoulders are square, and take a step. You do keep alternating legs, 10 yards, and then you turn around, facing the other direction, 10 yards, same exercise. Some people like to do a slightly different exercise for the hips for that. We allow you and give you the option of getting into a low squat position, step, shift your weight, step in. Do that for 10 yards and turn around. Same motion. Okay, you can do either the two-way crossover lunge or that staying low lateral squat to stretch the hips. And you finish 10 yards with a walking knee up and out. So you drive your knee up at your hip 90 degrees, knee 90 degrees, ankle 90 degrees. Come out, you come back, you take your next step. That's a walking knee up and out. So by doing all that, you go 30 yards, come back 30 yards, and then you're ready to go into more of a dynamic routine. You start off with low A skips, going into high A skips, and we finish with a hard stride. So I'm going to demonstrate the whole thing here so you can see kind of the distances that we're working with. The low A skip, we're getting our knee up to halfway up our thigh. The high A skip, we're coming all the way up. Every time we're skipping, we're coming down with force, so you're punching into the ground. We're working on good posture, good arm technique, and good leg technique by driving down into the ground. So first 10 yards a low A skip, next 10 yards high A skip, and then we're taking the last 10 yards and turning it into a hard stride. Then when we come back, we're going to do a different drill. It's going to be a low run to a high run. So there I just demonstrated kind of how the distances are going to work. I'm not going to do every exercise for the full distance here. But for the low run, we're going to get into a compact running motion. Driving our knee up, halfway up our thigh, and then for the high run, we bring it all the way up. So I'll demonstrate the low run, which is here, moving forward, and then the high run, it's all the way up. You want to work on staying tall but not leaning back. Last 10 yards, we stride out. Then we're going to lengthen the distance we're doing the next exercise. We're going to do bounding. So bounding, we're going to go 15 yards, trying to lengthen our stride. Last 15 yards, we're going to turn into a hard stride. We're driving out, pushing off the ground, driving our knee up and out, thigh parallel to the ground. Then when we come back, okay, we're going to go into a power skip. All right, power skip. We're trying to get as high as we can. Driving our knee in our opposite arm, 15 yards, and then we stride for 15 yards. Skip high, get vertical. 15 yards, hard stride. Next exercise, we're going to do 30 yards, a backwards reach and run. We're going to be leaning over, heel comes up to our butt, compact cycle, then extend the leg. Here we're going to stretch our whole hip flexor out, try to lengthen our body. Very important to get into a forward lean when you do this. Try to gain as much ground as you can. And continue to go for a full 30 yards. Way back, do a high knee drop step skip. So we want to work on mobilizing our hips, kind of separating our lower body from our upper body. So we drive our knee up, get up and out as we're skipping the whole way. So I'll go back so you can see me here. Up and out, and we just skip with this motion, trying to stay tall, trying to get as many foot contacts as we can throughout this motion. Then we're going to progress to some lateral movements to open up our hips even more. Next one is a karaoke. Again, 30 yards we're going to go. A few things we're looking at here is driving the knee up aggressively while we rotate the torso across the body. So we step in front, step, step behind. That's the motion with our feet. When we come up, we drive the knee up aggressively, rotate the torso across your body. Do that for 30 yards, come back with the same thing. Next lateral drill we're going to do is a side shuffle. Turn and run hard for 10 yards, and then gradually slow down. So you want to get into an athletic position, picking up the lead foot, pushing off the back foot, short, quick steps. So shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Once you hit here, turn and run hard. And gradually slow down the last 10 yards. You do that both directions. Now we're getting to the end of this warm-up. You want to get yourself ready for the workout that you're about to conquer that day. So if you're about to do some change of direction drills, there's a few different things you can do. If they're going to be multi-directional agility drills, you can do what we call an S run. We're running fairly straight ahead, but cutting with speed cuts. So for this, we're running full speed, 30 yards, and every cut, just imagine there's a defender or a cone, we're getting around it as fast as we can. When we come back, we're going to progressively build up our run. So the first 15 yards, gradually build up your speed. Last 15 yards, you're at full speed. And then after that 30-yard point, you gradually slow down. Coming back, make it a Z cut. It's the way we call our power cuts. Very sharp cuts. So if we're going out, we want to drop our hips, shorten our steps. When we come back, we're going to go into a full speed run. So 30 yards as fast as you can. Now one other drill you can add, if you're doing exercises more in a straight line, change of direction drills in a straight line, is what we call a 10-10-10 agility. Where you run 10 yards, you come back 10 yards, and you run out 10 yards as fast as you can. Especially for baseball and softball, you always want to start running to your right. Okay? So it'll look like this. You can put that drill in instead of the S or Z cuts. Those are the exercises you're about to do that day. So by the end of all this, it should take you 10 to 15 minutes. Should be warmed up. Should be ready to go that day. Should have a great workout.